one of the most fundamental but commonly under-taught components of wrestling that every wrestler needs to know is footwork. That is footwork for a high crotch, footwork for a single leg. Now, traditionally, growing up through youth wrestling practices, club wrestling practices, a lot of footwork is shown, but not proper foot placement or how to drive off of which foot in terms of closing the gap on your opponent so that we're not, quote unquote, like a lot of coaches yell at you, shooting from a mile away. So one drill that we can do, one structured, very detailed shadow wrestling we can do to improve our penetration steps, improve our footwork for our high crotches and our single legs is this drill right here. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna find a tape line. In every wrestling room, there's a bunch of them. You're gonna get in your stance, and you straddle the line. Now, if I'm a right leg lead, my right leg is forward. That's my lead leg. That means my right hand is my shooting hand. My left leg, that's my back leg. That's my hand fighting hand. That's the hand I'm always making contact with first. This one protects, this one makes contact first. Now, if I'm shooting a high crotch, my high crotch leg is gonna be on my back leg side over here across the tape line. If I'm shooting a single leg, that's gonna be on my lead leg side on this side of the tape line. Now, my penetration step, every time I shoot, whether it's a high crotch, single leg, doesn't matter, my penetration step always starts with my back leg here. I drive off my back leg, step with my lead leg. Drive, step, drive, step. So if I'm shooting my high crotch across the line, it looks like this. Drive, step, closing the gap. If I'm shooting my single leg across the line, it looks like this. Drive, step. Now, the drill itself here, I'm gonna take a high crotch shot and a single leg shot, but it's two different kind of single legs. We'll get to that point in a second. I take my high crotch shot, I'm here, I'm gonna cross the line, drive, step, here. Now, if I'm shooting my high crotch the way I need to shoot my high crotch, my stance is gonna be fairly narrow right here, fairly narrow, fairly staggered. So I really gotta penetrate and drop to this lead leg knee and cut the corner across the tape line, turn my head face back the other direction. Here, turn. Now, if I'm shooting my single leg, there's two different kinds of single legs. There's a straight single and a sweep single. My footwork's different for each. If I'm shooting my single leg, that's on my lead leg side. If I drive step, my toes pointed forwards here. That's a straight single. Why? Because my knee right now can only move forward and backwards. So that means I'm shooting straight. If I want to shoot a sweep single, I gotta change the direction of my toe. That means I drive step, my toes pointed in here. This gives my knee a lot more rotational mobility here to be able to get around my opponent's leg and finish my shot. So if I'm shooting my sweep, drive step, turn my toe, cut the corner. So drive step, turn my toe, cut the corner, face back the other direction. Now, in succession, this drill looks like this. I'll start on one side of the room, travel to the other side of the room, and then travel back, or I can stay in one spot, shoot a high crotch turn, shoot a single leg turn, doesn't really matter. It'll look like this. So I'm here in my stance, right leg lead, good position, step, high crotch, step, single leg, step, high crotch, turn, step, single leg, turn. One right into the next, right into the next, right into the next. Now, this is a drill that can be done while you're shadow wrestling on your own, doing short bursts, maybe I did in practice, doing 10, 15-minute goes, doesn't really matter. What you're working on here is the minor points of the drill. So that means your footwork, foot placement, what legs we're pushing off of, what feet we're pushing off of, how our feet are placed, how our stance is, which side is which for our hands and our feet. Trying to get our hands, head, hips, and feet all on the same page so that they're not kind of getting randomly thrown around, getting mixed up, tripping over ourselves. If you guys have any questions on any other structured shadow wrestling drills I can help you with, shoot me a message, let me know how I can help.